Okay, so if you're going to check all of your fluids at the same time, you're most likely going to want to start with your radiator fluid. To do so, you're going to want to wait for your car to cool down. That's why we might start with this instead of the other two, because the other two require your car to be at running temperature, and this requires your car to be cool, because there's a chance that you could burn yourself. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to carefully open your radiator cap here. I say carefully because if you're doing it a little warm, then it has a chance of spewing out or burning you. The radiator cap will be hot because there's hot fluid that's trying to cool off your motor at all times flowing through there. There's a lot of pressure in it. It's a pressurized system. So you may hear a couple bubbles when you go to open it. Just kind of open it super slowly and let the pressure come out. So once you have your radiator cap open, you're going to want to look inside and see if you can see the top of the fluid. Here you can see that the fluid is close to the top. After you check for your fluid, you can start your car to make sure that the fluid is flowing through. So now, here you see that it didn't come all the way up to the top, so you're going to want to add a little bit of fluid if you have to. And after you check your fluid and you make sure it's filled up, you're going to want to go ahead and put your radiator cap back on. Make sure it's secure. You also have a reservoir tank. Mine's a little busted, but you can also look in there and make sure there's fluid in there. It's also another great determination in whether you have enough fluid in your system or not. If you need to fill up your coolant system, you can use a funnel into the radiator. And you can also use one of these testers to make sure that your fluid is at the right level. In order to add fluid, there's two types of fluids you can buy. You can either buy full strength or half strength. If you buy the full strength, you're going to want to mix it with half a gallon of water and half a gallon of the fluid, just so that it's not too strong for the motor and it stays cooled off. You can also use the full strength if you want, but it's just not my preference. The next fluid that we're going to check is your oil. For your oil, you want to wait until the car is at a running temperature. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find your oil dipstick tube. When you pull out your oil dipstick tube, there's going to be a fill line. If the oil is not above that fill line, you're going to want to add some oil. You're also going to want to check the color and consistency of your oil. If it's too dark or if it's too runny, you may want to change your oil. Maybe time for an oil change, so let's go ahead and do that. So here's my oil dipstick tube. I'm going to pull it out. We're going to wipe it off once before we read it. We'll put it back in. We do that so we get a little bit better of a reading. And right here you see it says that it's full, or close to it. You may need to add not a lot. And I can always wait until the next oil change. It's not too dark and it's not too light. It's not too runny either, so this oil looks good. You're going to want to go ahead and put your dipstick tube back in. That's how you check your oil. In the case that you need to add oil to your motor, a lot of the times the fill for your oil will be on the dipstick or on the valve cover. All right. Usually it would be on the same side as your dipstick tube, but all cars are different. You just got to be able to look and figure out where it's at. That's all you need to know. Check. All right, so to check your transmission fluid, you're going to want to find your transmission dipstick tube. I went ahead and did that already. On the dipstick tube, It's going to tell you whether you want to check your transmission in park or if you want it in neutral, and whether you want it hot or cold. For my car, it says to check the transmission in park and hot, and that's right here. There's also the fill line, just like on the oil. So we're gonna go ahead and go put this back in the transmission, and we'll go from there. All right, so when you go to check your transmission fluid, you're gonna wanna go through a series of shifts with your transmission in order to get the fluids to move around and loosen up a little bit. So what I usually do, which you don't always have to do, but I usually go reverse, and I wait for it to shift, and then I go to neutral, and then down to drive, then I throw it back up in park, back to reverse, down into drive, and then back up into park, and I pull my parking brake. That's just going to guarantee that the fluid is moving and that my car isn't going to go anywhere. So when you check the transmission fluid, you're going to want to do the same thing you do with your oil. You're going to go ahead and pull it out. You're going to look, you're going to wipe off the transmission fluid. You're going to go ahead and put it back in to get it a good reading. So you're going to pull it out, and you're going to want it to be up here on the full hot. Mine's telling me that I need to add some fluid, and my fluid, as you can see, is also a little too dark. So this means that I need to either check that there could be something wrong with my transmission, and I also need to add some fluid in order for my transmission to keep shifting smoothly and to keep functioning the way that it should. We're going to go ahead and put this back in. And then, like with the oil, if you were going to put